husband Alex Fine the last time she and Diddy was doing
I called this last night. I said, Cassie still got love for Diddy. She said it today in court. I still got love for him.
Regardless of how the Diddy trial ends, we do know that Cassie is guilty of making some terrible choices.
It's always going to be based on the choices that are made by the actual players. And so I think Cassie made a decision, Puffy's making decisions.
What's up, guys? It's your girl RIVAH, and I'm back again with another video. I have been getting so many comments on my Instagram DM, on my Instagram, YouTube videos, all over, of people wanting to know my point of view on all that is going on within the Cassie and Diddy trial. Now, I've been just like y'all, getting the updates and watching and seeing what's going on. But I wanted Cassie to go through, her entire testimony before I decided to give my opinions and my thought process. Now, again, if you guys are new to the platform, I just want to make something clear. I have a platform in which I hold women accountable. It does not mean that I always agree with what the men are doing. It does not mean that I put 100% blame on the woman, but I always, like to bring or shed light to the woman's involvement in situations, and how, women can change their behavior, be better, make different choices so that they are not constantly victimizing themselves and avoiding accountability in situations. Now, the first thing that I want to say before I get into anything is that a lot of people believe that in holding Cassie accountable for some of the things that she partook in, that means that we are wanting to exonerate, Diddy of all of the things that he also did or partook in this situation. I don't agree with that. Okay, I think two things could be true at the same time. She could have had some, wrongdoings that she, definitely was a part of and did. And there was other times that she was clearly a victim in the situation.
Regardless of how the Diddy trial ends, we do know that Cassie is guilty of making some terrible choices.
Right, like even when it comes to, just the one video that we saw of her being publicly, in the hotel, that went public, and we saw all of the details that took place in that situation. That alone lets us know that if you're willing to do that in a public space where somebody could easily walk out their room and see you, what would you do if nobody else is watching? So I'm not going to stand here. We're not going to act like, he did not partake in certain things or he was not harmful to her in any way. That's not this type of party. But what I've noticed from hearing her testifying and hearing, reading some of the transcripts and stuff like that, is that this is a grand example of what happens when some women believe that the grass is greener somewhere else. This is a grand example of when some women believe that everything that glitters is gold. And I think it's important that we talk about this situation from this angle so that other women can see and take note of these situations, because yes, there's just this whole narrative of, oh, men are horrible, men are this, men are that, women are victims. But we also need to talk about the ownership that women have on some of their actions that led to certain things playing out in a certain manner. And so that's what I'm going to go ahead and break down in this conversation.
I look forward to you joining us at our next investor webinar, where you can drill deeper into our 9 to 13% annual interest rate bond offerings and see how our company has become an emerging leader in the oil and gas industry. In 2024, Phoenix Energy rose to become the 11th most prolific oil and gas operator in the Williston Basin, one of America's top producing regions. We are now right alongside industry giants like ConocoPhillips and EOG, and plan to continue rising in the rankings. Our daily production rates have risen as high as 18,000 barrels of oil per day. We've sold more than 4 million barrels, and we're just getting started. We hope to see you at our brief webinar. In less than 1 hour, you will learn more about our 9 to 13% annual interest rate bond offerings and the U.S. oil and gas sector. These Regulation D 506E bond offerings are open to accredited investors. Our team will guide you through the details of how to get started. Sign up for the webinar and start your journey with Phoenix Energy today.
Yay, I just love wellness. Getting your daily dose of nutrients doesn't have to be messy. Meet Grooms. Gruns. The snackable, packable wellness gummy that packs the comprehensive nutrition you need into this guy right here. Grooms loads a complete serving of fruits, veggies, adaptogens, vitamins, minerals, super mushrooms, prebiotics, and antioxidants like organic kale, spirulina, broccoli, beet, lemon, apple, tomato, blueberry, shiitake mushroom, strawberries, and more in every pack. So I can snack on these instead of all of this? Yep. But how did Grooms get everything you need in here and make it taste delicious?
My hypothesis? The real fruit flavor is what makes these little bears also delicious. And unlike other sneaky snacks that hide added sugars and only pretend to be healthy, Grooms has only 3 grams of added sugar.
Is he okay? He really loves the gummies. Every time you pop a Grooms, you help boost your gut health, energy, immunity, recovery, beauty, and cognition. Click the link and level up to comprehensive wellness with Grooms. The unfortunate reality is
9 out of 10 people are deficient in fruits, veggies, vitamins, and minerals.
and 74% of people deal with digestive issues.
The button sim is that way if you need it.
With today's busy schedules and standard diets, nutrition gaps are inevitable. But Grooms fills those gaps with an easy, nutrient-dense solution supported by over 35,000 research publications. Whether you're working out, working late, or working on that tan, Grooms goes where you go. Most traditional supplements and greens powders take forever to prepare and even longer to clean up. Why does it still look like that? Your guess is as good as mine.
That is terrible. It's like little baby diapers.
With Grooms, just rip, tip, and enjoy.
Please not my arm.
Don't let us stop you.
Honestly, that looks like fun.
However you Grooms is up to you. With glowing 5-star reviews and a growing community of healthier, happier people, it's time to choose wellness you'll actually look forward to. Click the link and enjoy the very best way to get your greens with Grooms.
Oh no, we can't. It's forbidden.
It can't be forbidden if it's this good.
Click the link and have more fun with your health. Meet Grooms.
So starting off, I don't know if you guys remember when Cassie came on the scene. Okay, I do though. I do. I remember vividly. And Cassie was actually in a relationship with record producer / artist Ryan Leslie.
My addiction, while all the girls say I'm addicted to you.
Now, in being in a relationship with Ryan Leslie, her being with him is what actually led to her actually meeting Diddy, and the two of them forming a connection. Now, I want to remind you guys, Ryan Leslie and Diddy were co-workers, they were peers, but they were also pretty much friends. Okay? And so what happened, clearly, it was clear as day. She went from being with this one person who was Ryan Leslie, who, you know, built her from scratch. Okay, saw her. He literally said that, you know, the only way that he could have met the likes of Cassie is because he went out of his normal routine of just being in the house, working, creating, and went to a club one night and saw her there.
That's actually how I met Cassie, because I was like, yo, I'm a big producer now. I'm going to the club, whatever.
Now, this is a man who said that he didn't, you know, drink, he didn't smoke, he was not, you know, a part of a certain type of lifestyle.
I never acquired a taste for alcohol, for drugs, for partying.
This man was a brilliant man. Okay? Brilliant. So brilliant that he literally, you know, went into Harvard, I think at 14 or 15 years old.
What age did you go to Harvard?
I got in when I was 14, and I was a freshman at 15. Yeah.
And as I said before, you know, he put the puzzle pieces together for her, and in doing that, she gained so much recognition again that attracted the likes of a Diddy to say, you know what, we're gonna sign her, we're gonna make her even bigger than the artist that she already is, and she 100% jumped for that opportunity. Not only did she jump for the opportunity to be signed to, you know, Bad Boy.
I was hearing everywhere I was at, and so I kept asking what record was that, and when told me that it was Ryan's Active was Cassie. When I saw her and I met her and I saw this DVD on her, hopefully we can play that. That's what kind of made me like really fall in love with the project, because I saw something more than just records.
But she also jumped for the opportunity to be in a relationship with him and leave Ryan Leslie to the wayside.
This is how to get in shape fast.
If you want to drop this, start eating more of these. You might think this would take years to learn, but I'm going to teach it to you in 60 seconds. Watch this.
Visceral fat can cause inflammation. It can accumulate in the heart, in the muscles, in the liver. Visceral fat is like a direct line to metabolic and cardiovascular disease. This type of abdominal fat is associated with a higher risk of death. So how do we get rid of dangerous visceral fat? Well, it's a lot easier than you might think.
Am I the only one that didn't know this about visceral fat?
Some of it is what you can pinch around the midline. Some of it is a large fat apron. This is all visceral fat, and it is highly inflammatory. Literally, this inflammation caused by this inflammatory organ is killing us.
Did you know that you wear your health on your face and your body? And it's true, there are powerful biomarkers that you can visibly see, but you might not know what they mean and what they're telling you about your health.
I want to talk to you about something that's been making waves on social media lately. You've probably seen this guy all over your feed claiming that cutting carbs isn't necessary for weight loss. No need for long hours on the treadmill either. Now, I know it sounds too good to be true, but let me tell you, there's more to this than meets the eye. I decided to delve into this topic and do some research. Turns out this guy is a celebrity trainer who's gained a massive following for challenging mainstream advice. He claims that what we've been told about weight loss is wrong, completely wrong. And you know what? Makes a lot of sense when you listen to what he has to say.
This is what 10 pounds of fat looks like. If you want to drop this or more, you got to take your metabolism from this to this. For anyone out there who doesn't know their metabolic type, stop scrolling for just 1 second and listen up, please.
Is your body trying to tell you something? The darkness of your outer eye ring, the pinkness of your fingernails, spider veins, veins on your eyelids, your posture, your waist size, your face shape, the list goes on and on. And what impacts these biological markers the most comes down to two words: visceral fat. What is visceral fat? It's been referred to as invisible obesity or radioactive fat because it's the hidden fat, the fat behind your abdomen, and the fat that's around your organs, and the fat that's toxic to every part of your body, basically erasing your vitality and stealing your strength. And I've been in the fitness industry a long time, and I'm still hearing from people about how they want to get in shape or they want to feel young again, but they don't know what to do. Well, it starts with getting rid of visceral fat, and the number one way to do that is through what you eat and how you move. And everyone knows that food choice can help you lose weight, but it can also radically change how you look and feel and perform. The food that you eat directly impacts what kind of fat your body stores and where it stores it. A little bit of that comes down to genetics, but it's also what you eat. Do you know what can happen if you optimize your diet?
2 days ago, I was the lightest I'd been since I was about 23.
Wow.
I've never really experienced that with other diets. I've really not. I thought I was getting there with a carnivore diet because I was like, oh, I can do this. I eat whatever I want. I just don't eat carbohydrates. I gained 12 pounds.
But how can you know what to eat? Well, there's a million different diets out there, all sending you mixed signals. I want to show you a way of eating to help you optimize your results without having to follow some super strict, unbearable diet. And so if you're ready to stop guessing and start knowing, take our quick and easy quiz and discover our science-backed approach to just destroying your visceral fat. And millions of people have already taken this quiz and are seeing incredible results. So this is our body type quiz. It's a free quiz. It's 6 different questions, super easy. It takes like literally 20 seconds. You can do it right now. And then at the end of it, it tells you what your body type is, but it also tells you the 3 most important things to do based on what your body type is. And it's completely free. And we won't ask for your email or anything like that. So if you guys want to check it out, click that link below. Take my free body type quiz and get your personalized plan right now.
Do it. Just get started now. Don't wait. Not tomorrow. Now.
Now, the reason why all of this stuff is very, very crucial and very important information is because, there has been a lot of talk surrounding, the grooming. There's been a lot of talk that she was, completely unaware of anything that she was ever doing at that time. And, her being in a relationship with the likes of Orion Leslie, who was 10 years her senior, and she was, I think, like 19 at the time, 18, 19 at the time when she met him. She was obviously able to go to a club because that's how he met her. So she was old enough to get in. So she must have been at least 18, 19 years old.
Right, guys, they're back, and now they're asking Cassie questions about Leslie. If you don't know who Leslie is, Leslie wrote and produced Cassie's debut album. Now, they also dated. This was before Diddy. So now Diddy's lawyers are asking Cassie, like, how much older was he than you? Cassie responds that he was 10 years older than her. They then asked Cassie if she had tattoos of Leslie's initials on her body. She responded yes, and then they asked her how many other tattoos does she have on her body, and then they said objection, but then they said overruled, and she responded 3. They then asked her what was the tattoo that's on her arm, and she said it says no regrets. So we think the defense is trying to go at an angle that Cassie was not groomed because she had been with a man 10 years older than her prior to Diddy. So they're trying to shut that narrative down that she was groomed.
The two of them, had a bond, had a relationship, and obviously she was in the mind frame of, this is somebody who can also help me and propel me in the way in which I want to go. And so we build this relationship. You're my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend. We work in the studio. We do all these things together. And it's a win-win situation for the both of us, right? And so now, when that situation transferred into her being with Diddy, based on a lot of the testimonies that I saw, her enduring a lot of the things that she did at that time, when it got into situations of her being with the likes of the, Kid Cudi, or her even now husband, and then still going back to be in a relationship with him, it shows a bit of a trend, right? Kid Cudi and Diddy were cool. Kid Cudi is, Diddy said to Cassie that she should work with Kid Cudi, and then that is what prompted her to then, have some one-on-one time with him or whatever, build this kind of, bond in the studio, whatever the case is, and then decided that she was now going to be in a relationship with that person and not be in a relationship with him. As you can see here, this is when the lawyer was cross-examining Cassie, and it says, the lawyer asked Cassie, she says, did there come a time when he suspected you were in a relationship with someone in the industry, Mr. Mess Cudi, which is Kid Cudi? And Cassie says yes. Then the lawyer says, Mr. Combs thought it could be good for your career if you collaborated with Mr. Cudi. And Cassie then says, yes again. Then the lawyer says, why did you begin your relationship with him? And this is Kid Cudi again. Cassie says, we enjoyed each other's company. The lawyer says, you were in a relationship with Mr. Combs. Cassie says they were on a break. The lawyer says, but you were still doing freak-offs with him? Cassie says, yes. The lawyer then says, after Mr. Combs found out by going through your phone, you went to see him. You knew he was upset and he had previously harmed you before. She said, yes, I thought I'd be safer with other people there. The lawyer then says, your affair with Mr. Cudi was only a month long, but you got a burner phone for it? She says, right. The lawyer says, Mr. Combs kicked you in the back? She says, yes. The lawyer says, this came up later in your relationship that you had cheated on him with Kid Cudi. Cassie says, yes, he brought it up quite a bit. The lawyer then says, when he cheated, he said, well, you had an affair with Kid Cudi, right? And she said, sometimes. And again, this is a trend that, everybody is starting to realize. Okay, you were with Ryan, that was Diddy's friend, you went to Diddy. You were with Diddy, he told you about Kid Cudi, that was his friend, you went to Cudi. Like, it's becoming a trend that people are noticing and witnessing. And, in this situation, a lot of people are talking about the fact that he had control over this person. Obviously. Okay? This is a powerful person.
Today, Cassie read out loud in court a text she wrote to Diddy. You treat me like you're Ike Turner. She meant he was abusive and controlling. For example, He repeatedly threatened to drop freak-off videos on the internet and destroy her.
Some of y'all get a little promotion at y'all job, but y'all don't know how to act. Okay, y'all be acting like y'all founded the company when y'all get a little bit of promotion from your job. So imagine somebody who has, you know, a lot of notoriety, a lot of money behind that situation, and then, you know, the ability to kind of exercise or do whatever, and it seemed at the time that there was never going to be any repercussion for their action.
At Mint Mobile, we're always looking for innovative ways to save you money, so you can keep paying $15 a month for premium wireless. That's why instead of hiring an expensive director for this commercial, we found someone willing to work for candy and approval. Hey, Daddy, sweetie, Daddy's face is up here. Okay, there you go. All right, no, too high, honey. There you go. Hey, nap time. So embarrassing. Sorry, guys, this one's on me.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
Let's go!
He's due bring on the house. Dix is the GOAT.
Okay, that situation obviously, you know, tumbled into a lot of the foolishness that we got to see or hear, you know, from her standpoint, from other people who have talked about the situation, and so it's almost like it spiraled out of control.
What you got to say now? What you got to say now? You ain't got to say when you put your girl on the snap.
But what is, I think, should be made mention more of is the fact that, like, okay, what happened that entered Cassie into the situation? Because a lot of times we are talking from the after effect, but what entered Cassie into this situation as a whole? And it was the idea of what she could have, what she could obtain, and who she could be.
At Bad Boy, we there for people through ups and downs. For all of you new young artists out there that think this is easy, it's not easy.
These women who were talking about getting into these situations where a man got to fly them out, he got to have the bag, he got to be a certain type of person, he got to have, you know, a certain amount of zeros in his bank accounts. And there are some times that there's other things that come along with those certain lifestyles. That's just the truth. There's some times that you see people and you over there jealous of what they got going on social media. You, man, I can't believe. And you have no idea what those women have had to endure to live said lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying all the time, but I'm talking about it. And I think it's important, again, that we highlight this angle of the conversation, because these younger girls are just continuing the same feminist perspective. Oh, you can't trust men. Men are horrible. He groomed her. He this, he that. And, you know, we have to put the onus on the women so women can see that if you do not want to, you know, be in similar situations, we have to analyze this conversation and see what could have been done, if anything, differently to avoid certain situations.
Update. Cassie confirmed she got a FaceTime call from her now husband, Alex Fine, the last time she and Diddy was doing the, you know.
Now, again, the reason why a lot of people who were in support of her and were like, oh my God, she's a victim, this is terrible, this is the worst thing, now kind of have a change of heart is because in hearing more of this information, it's like some things are just not making sense. Okay, because you got away scot-free. You were a victim in this situation. You were going through it. You know, you were getting, you know, hit, kicked, all these kind of things, and you finally got away with the trainer. Then you decided to go to dinner, which, what's there to talk about at this point? Like, what is there a conversation that needs to be had about? You go to dinner. As if dinner was not enough, you decide to go back to the house. And again, a conversation that younger women need to hear and to understand. There's always going to be an expectation when you're at the house, because why are you there?
August 2018, what happened? Cassie, we were having a closure conversation at a restaurant in Malibu. He was trying to convince me to go to Burning Man, AUSA. Were you seeing anyone? Cassie, my now husband. What happened next? Cassie, Sean came to my house and me on my living room floor. His eyes were black. It was like it's like taking something from you. AUSA, you cried? What did Sean do? Cassie, he continued and finished inside me. Then he got up and left. Did you ever have sex with him again? Cassie, yes. Voluntarily. We had a good night. I went back to his house.
To hang out, to eat popcorn, to watch movies, to drink water. Like, there's always going to be that expectation or that emphasis. You go there, you're at the house, and then you say he took it. Okay? But then after that, you go back to your freedom space, whatever the case is, with that person, and then you voluntarily go back and are intimate with him again. Voluntarily. So it's a bit of a, like, you know, it's like a catch-22. And again, there has to be some kind of onus on the situation. There has to be. There has to be. Because, you know, what do they say? Prevention is better than cure. You know what? To prevent anything negative happening that I don't want to happen, I'm not going to go. But you go. And you do. And you have dinner. And you go to the house. And you go back home to this new man who rescued you. And then you go back again. And then there was even a point in which she was testifying that she said that she still loves him.
I called this last night. I said, Cassie still got love for Diddy. She said it today in court.
Do you think this candle will cover up my friend's overpowering cologne?
Impossible. Hey, do you mind paying? All I have are nickels.
Not at all.
Do you change for a nickel?
Unlimited 2% cash back. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card.
I still got love for him. I don't hate bruh. I don't hate him. I don't hate the years in the past. I guarantee you, if Diddy was to change his ways, it can't go back together because of the optics. But I can almost guarantee, I don't know what Alex Fine do for her. He may be bored. I don't know how much they make. But if that black billionaire called her and said, baby, I ain't gonna hit you no more freak offs, no more drugs. I just want to have a conversation about it. I think she'll consider. I ain't gonna say she gonna do it now, because that would be a fool. But I think she will consider it.
She still loves him. She still has love for him. Like, it's a very messy situation. It's very messy. But, you know, in the parts that, again, she had to play, I have to say it goes right back to the beginning of the conversation, is that the grass is not always greener on the other side. It's not. When her and Ryan Leslie broke up, there was no more conversation. He wasn't chasing her down. He wasn't trying to get her back. He let sleeping dogs lie. He left it alone. But she went because she wanted more. She wanted greater. She wanted more publicity. She wanted more of the limelight. She wanted more stardom. And didn't actually get that part out of it. And ended up getting all this trauma, hurt, pain, manipulation, like all these things out of that situation instead.
Ask me, you know, hey, how do you feel? Were you heartbroken? You know, Puff took your girl, whatever it was. And like, I understand when a story or a narrative is not for me. Once it was no longer for me, then there were other narratives and stories for me to invest my time, energy, and resources into.
Now, again, do I think that you know, young girl knew that any of this was going to be a possibility when she tried to, you know, level up and date up from the situation that she was already in? I don't think so. I don't think she could have ever fathomed what she was going to have to be willing to do to be in the seat that she wanted to secure. I don't think so. I genuinely don't. And again, hence why we need to have these conversations openly to younger girls so that they can see that, again, not everything that glitters is gold. Sometimes you're in a situation, you're in a space, you're building with someone, you're growing with somebody, and you see somebody come out, you know, they got a certain car, certain amount of finances, and you think that they are the better option. And you have no idea what you're going to have to do or endure to be in those certain spaces, situations, or relationships to keep up. You don't know. And unfortunately, you don't know until you know, like Cassie. And so, I don't know. I think it's a crazy thing. I think, you know, the more information that's coming out, The only side that we've seen so far is like more of like a domestic situation, not really anything else that's tied to the higher things that they actually have him, you know, arrested for. I think that they just brought this in to kind of show all of the things that he was capable of and all the things that he put this person through, before they, you know, lay the groundwork, or this was laying the groundwork of like, you know, his, you know, morality or his moral compass. Right. And so it's crazy that this is just the beginning, and we found out, or we learned so much information. I can only imagine what's going to happen in the future and how much more stuff's going to come out. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entire case, what you guys have been watching, your points of view. I'd love to hear it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.